Welcome, welcome. The need, our need of the day is mattering. Let yourself sink into the emotions that come up matter. This is really the core of mattering to yourself, letting your emotions be felt. This is the need of care and kindness or acknowledgement from somebody else. The idea that it would feel really good. And what's stopping you from feeling really good right now? Only the idea that it's somebody else's job to give it to us. So sink into I matter to my own inner world, the emotions that I'm feeling, the needs that they're pointing to, that are so, so important to my well-being, to my survival, really. Knowing that I matter to myself um, and to a few other people. Um, I don't need to, how many people are in the world? 6 billion? I don't think I need to really matter to all of them. And sometimes I tell myself the story that I don't matter to another person, or they think that they don't matter to me. And one of those two thoughts can really get in the way of a friendship or any relationship, really. And I'm thinking even of somebody who I reserve for that spot when I get to in the meditation, somebody that triggers us. Um, the other day, I connected with how much they mattered to me, and I think they are stuck in the opposite, and uh, and it's none of my business, really. It's none of my business. And for closer relationships, I really want to check in. For one close relationship that we were really stuck in resentment and anger for a long time, I finally asked them, "Do you think that I don't matter to you? Do you think that you don't matter to me?" And they went, "Yeah, I know it. Because if I did matter to you, you would do this, this, this." And it's like, that's deep. I mean, that's survival, right? That goes back a long way of mattering to people we love. Because in effect, we die when we're children. Of course, that's a when that happens, and it does happen, um, a lot, that children don't matter to a parent who has their mindset on other things, and that's a hard one to get over. And we carry it to our adulthood, that same sense of survival and that same attachment to other people doing something different than we want them to do. And to have that sense, to check in. I mean, if you are really close to the person, that's possibly a conversation. But even if uh, I can say this because she will never listen to this. Even one time with my sister, I asked myself internally, do I have the story that I don't matter to her? And it was like, oh my God, that's craziness. I not only matter to her, she loves me. And it totally shifted from like the next time I talked to her, it was like totally different. So let yourself feel what it feels like to matter and know that there are other people in the world that are really, really important to us. We really want to matter to them. And we are telling ourselves a story, particularly when there's resentment and anger, that if I matter to this person, then they would do this. And it's like, oh, you made that shit up, honey. I mean, that's a kind way of talking to myself. Like, oh, honey, come on. Really? Come on. Are you ready to let that one go? That's an insight into my inner world, how I talk to myself. My dear. So, what does it feel like to matter? And there are friends that I know that I used to matter to, but I don't anymore. And I get stuck. I get stuck with like my survivals. Like my mind will circle back to them even though I haven't talked to them in years. Like I would like to matter to them. And and um when I'm really honest with myself, um I don't actually want a relationship with them anymore. I do want to be in relationship with people that will talk about problems in the relationship in a way that they're taking self-responsibility. That they're willing to enter into hard conversations. So I hope you're staying with me because I'm going off into tangents I've actually touched on three different relationships in my own mind. Two that benefited from that conversation around mattering enough, and another that I let go of because they weren't willing to have that conversation. And if I am honest with myself, it's like, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that can't have that conversation. I have to matter enough to go into really, really difficult territory with her. I imagine I'm not going to be super, super, super close to the person. What does it feel like to matter? It can really get in the way. And when it doesn't get in the way, I can find that in myself. I know that I matter. And I know that I'm telling myself the story that I don't matter to this other person. And that may or may not be true. And I may not even have to have that conversation with them to know that, well, I kind of do know that I matter to them. Even though in this instance they were quite dismissive of my opinion and it brought back old stuff. So let mattering, whatever that word means to you, whatever that need means to you, it's a big one for me. is it for you? I'm guessing it's a human thing. I'm guessing that mattering is part of having a human experience. That it does go back to our survival. It is interconnected with belonging. I belong to my sister. That is clear. And she belongs to me. I belong to this relationship that we moved through that stuckness. So belonging for me is interconnected with mattering. Not in a tight way. I don't have any chains on me. And I've been choosing to live with the same person for 37 years, 30, 40 years. When you lose track, uh, when you choose each day, you matter to that person. They belong to you. And friendships are the same. When I when I meet somebody, I notice if they keep track of people from their childhood or not. So think of that. Feel that. Feel that inner sense of mattering. Notice when you have resentments and notice it could be about mattering or belonging and explore that if you're telling yourself a story about the other person. Um, and there's like, there's a whole scale of that. Some things matter to me a lot. Some things matter to me just a little bit. You might be on that scale too. And they might be on that scale for you as well. So check in with yourself right now, how amazing it feels really to matter to somebody else, to belong in this world, to belong to each other. And I hope this exploration, you can feel it in your body, that deep interconnection, a deep human feeling. Thank you.